What's going on, world? It's your boy Steve Dab 317 back with another reaction video. Still working on the 18 chapters from the Rise of Bangtan series, or docu-series maybe I should say. Hey, really quick, if you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe channel if you enjoy reaction videos. Right now I'm going down my BTS rabbit hole. Kind of went back. I was recommended to check out these chapters to help me get a better understanding of the group, their background, their personalities, where they came from, and where they are today. So anyway, with no further ado, I'm about to go ahead and jump right into it. I am up to chapter 3. This one's titled The House of Cards, and I believe this one touches bases on just some of the judgment that was passed on them, some of the criticism and things like that, and how they managed to deal with it during this period of time. Anyways, let's jump right into it.
대박! 대박! 2013년 8월 25일 르무스의 로그 아따 톤 한 단계 업그레이드 됐어. 안경을 처음으로 벗고 로그를 찍는다. 야 신기하네. 아무튼 나는
When you say upgraded version, does that, like, did he just convert over to contacts? Is that why you say he doesn't have this is his first one without glasses on or whatever?
여태 방금 전까지 이제 앨범 작업이 드디어 끝났어. 랩몬스터라는 이름을 정말 바보가 지은 게 아니라는 걸 증명해드리고 싶다. 오케이? 좋아. 우후! 와이! 예!
All right, so what is the significance to the rectangles around his face, around his eyes, I should say? And I remember doing a reaction to this video, but I didn't even notice that at all. Probably, I don't know if I was trying to read subtitles or what. But anyways, if there's like a specific significance to it, please let me know down in the comments. For those of you who are brand new to my channel, especially on groups I don't know much about, similar to BTS, I tend to ask a lot of questions. And yes, I understand I could probably Google some of these things, but I honestly prefer to interact with people, especially in this day and age where we're all so distant with, you know, so many things going on in the world. So anytime there's somebody who already knows the answer, they can put it down in the comments. It is always greatly appreciated. All right, let's keep it rolling.
안녕하세요. VJ 방탄특공대 MC 진입니다. 2013년 가요계에 혜성같이 등장한 방탄소년단. 훈훈한 외모와 넘치는 카리스마로 많은 분들의 사랑을 받았는데요. 함께 보실까요? 좋게 좋네. 안녕하세요.
After debut, any following release by that artist is called a comeback, regardless of the amount of time that has passed. That's a new one on me. Usually when I hear people talking about an artist making a comeback, there's usually been a decent hiatus in between, like multiple years, sometimes even a decade or more, and hence the use of the term comeback. But I guess technically anytime you come back to a place you've been before, it's technically a comeback. So, but good to know.
출근 소감을 얘기해 주실래요? 안녕하세요. 네.
혹시 오늘 처음이시라고요?
계속 연습했습니다.
생일날 제 솔로도 아니고
Return to the class.
He said they were practicing the whole time. Hey, you know what? What's really crazy? Like from what I'm starting to understand, like he probably is like serious, at least to some extent. Like they probably, I mean, I'm sure they slept and ate or whatever, but they probably since the last time the what is the MCGN? I think he said his name was. But from that time, they probably have been consistently practicing, working on getting better.
Classic.
네, 아무래도 떨려가지고 긴장도 떨려서 연습을 어설퍼하기도 하고.
저희가 이번에 Over Your Late라는 앨범으로 저희가 또 타이틀곡 에노라는 노래로 컴백을 했는데요. 컴백을 했습니다. 저희 에노 한번 들어보시고 죄송합니다. 다시 할게요.
오늘 정말
Yeah, I like to me when people leave in like those bloopers and things like those human characteristics, you know, just to remind us all that none of us are absolutely perfect. Like I don't know, I just really enjoy those. Part of the reason why I try to just stay away from editing my videos, I just, you know, leave my mistakes in there for you all. You can laugh with me, I guess. I don't know.
긴장하시는 분들이 많이 계셔서 굉장히 긴장이 됩니다. 원래 대기실에 딱 가는데 텅텅 비어 신인 대기실 텅텅 비었더라고요. 우리 그렇게 됐어요. 그렇죠. 저희도 언젠가.
If New Auto is successful enough to have a comeback, they must continue to do well to avoid disbandment due to lack of funds. Cool. And something else about my questions, and I've kind of realized, actually I'm realizing this at this very moment, but someone had made the comment in one of my other videos, maybe chapter 2, and they were like, hey, some of your questions are going to be answered in subsequent chapters. Just keep watching, which was cool as well, because like this kind of answers one of my questions right here in terms of how often they're disbanded and things like that I asked from the last video series. So.
자, 리허설 3, 2.
솔직히 매우 긴장된다. 첫 번째 앨범 때보다 더 멋있는 모습을 보여줘.
So real quick, I feel we need to be a lot cooler than our first album, so I'm a bit burdened. Couple of things. Well, one thing that really stands out to me about that phrase and what makes it significant is I think oftentimes people get stuck in a mindset of worrying about what everyone else is doing, what the competition or what the opposition, whatever you call it, what everybody else in that arena, they worry about what they're doing instead of focusing on what they can do. And it looks like what he's saying right here is like, you know, we need to be a lot cooler than our first album. So, you know, he's a bit burdened, right? But it's like, to me, that's saying like they weren't focused on what everybody else was doing. It was like, we want to be better. We want to be a better version of ourselves than we were however long it was ago that they did their debut. And, you know, I think that speaks volumes because a lot of people, like I said, they are so focused on what other people are doing. They don't spend enough time just really honing their craft. And I think that's important. And I think that's really the only way how we can get to the point where we're being the absolute best version of ourselves that we can be, is that constantly assessing what we're doing and what can I do better, what can I do different. So
보여드려야 된다고 생각되기도 하니까 이게 좀 약간은 부담감이 있기도 한 것 같고, 조금 더 준비를 하고 나가고 싶다는 생각도 조금 있고.
네, 모니터도 땄고요. 경실 공간입니다.
둘, 셋, 자, 감사합니다. 열심히 하겠습니다.
모니터 보니까 어때요? 잘 된 것 같아요?
제 표정이 너무 안 좋잖아요. 그래서 표정으로 신경 쓰겠습니다.
어떻게 해요? 더 파워풀하게?
감사합니다. 박수와 주식지 않은 소년들, 방탄소년단입니다. 에모!
힙합 아이돌 방탄소년단이 더 강력해진 모습으로 돌아왔습니다. 강렬한 퍼포먼스와 보다 강력해진 카리스마로 돌아온 엄청나게 팬덤이 생겼어요.
Okay, so 4 months.
NO is kind of an abbreviation of no offense. 과연 사람들에게 행복한가? 네, 더 늦기 전에 행복을 찾아라. 이렇게 묻고 있는 그런 앨범이고요.
All right, so real quick, I remember, and I had a bit of a discussion with someone, I think in the last video, about that translation about us stepping on our friends. Who's the one who made us step on our friends in order to climb up? And I think either I said it or the person who commented said it may not be a literal translation, but then also when I look at the fact that he's stepping up on somebody while he's saying this part in the song, I think maybe it was an accurate translation, an accurate translation, although it was intended to be maybe taken more figuratively than literally. But definitely you can see the accuracy and the parallel between what he's saying as well as what he's currently doing right now. Man, I butchered that, didn't I? That's all right. Like I said, I don't edit these. You can laugh right alongside with me. When I go through and I watch this video afterwards, I'm sure I'll laugh at me. So feel free.
In Korea, the university you attend is regarded by the society as one of the most important factors for determining your success in life. The College Scholastic Ability Test, also called 수능, is the test that dictates which university students would attend.
Dictates? So, and I want to make sure I'm not misinterpreting this, but like, so they take that test and then that test tells them what college they are going to attend. Like I know we do a series of tests here, and there's even like career assessment tests that they give I think in high school. And basically with that assessment test, it tells them, they may give it in junior high also, but basically it tells them the ideal fields that they would be a good fit in. You know, more or less, hey, you could consider going to this field or that field. Your personality would be or your strengths would be a good fit, but we don't have any tests here. It's like, hey, this test is going to determine exactly what you're going to do. Like, man, talking about taking away somebody's dreams. Like, you know, like as kids, do they even ask like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or like, is that even a question? And it's something that, you know, here in the States, like I've been asked that all my life. And honestly, I think it's maybe one of those things that I took for granted. You know, maybe it's one of those things that a lot of us here take for granted. Like just being asked like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because I don't know if they ask them that or not, but it doesn't seem like it matters if I'm interpreting what this is saying properly. And like, they're going to tell them what college they go to, what they're going to focus on. And man, that's rough. That's rough.
Students literally spend their whole lives preparing for this test.
저 때도 그랬고 지금도 그렇고 우리 학생들은 공부밖에 할 줄 몰라요.
These students study hard. On average, they'll do 15 hours a day. When school ends at 4 o'clock, it's not time to go home. The next shift starts, and most will go on to cram schools. For those who don't succeed, there's a tragic cost.
South Korea has exceptionally high suicide rate. Suicide is the fourth most common cause of death in South Korea. In the age range of 10 to 19 years old, South Korea has the highest suicide rate in the world.
That is so sad. Like, I wonder if, well, I don't know. I was going to say, I wonder if the adults look at those numbers and they feel like, oh, maybe we should do things differently. But I don't know, maybe things are starting to change. But y'all let me know in the comments. Maybe slowly but surely things are starting to get better. But that also just kind of highlights the significance to the messages that they sing about in their song, that BTS sings about in their songs. But like 10 to 19 years old, like that's like, and even let's just focus like 10 years old. Like I want to focus on just the far end of that 10 years of it. Like, honestly, I don't think, and I'm trying to remember the best I can. Like, I don't think at the age of 10 I even had I don't think I even knew what the word suicide meant. Besides maybe if you were at basketball practice and you ran suicides from free throw line and back, half court and back, you know. But short of that, like I can't recall a single conversation I would have had back then about even the mention of the word suicide, you know, and here they are saying that, man, that's rough. I want to keep going, but that's heavy. Like that's one of those stats where like it's just heavy. It's just heavy on the heart. So
mental health is a joke here in Korea.
There's a lack of counseling for kids in South Korea. Tragically, some see suicide as the only option.
한국은 주변 사람들이 열심히 하니까 자기도 옆에 사람만큼 열심히 해야겠다 이런 생각이 많이 드는 것 같아요.
친구들한테는 괜찮다, 이겨낼 수 있다고라고 하는데 미치겠습니다. 돌아버릴 것.
all right, well, I want to go back real quick.
열심히 해야겠다 이런 생각이 많이 드는 것 같아요.
친구들한테는 괜찮다.
Just look, I tell my friends that I'm okay and that I can make it, but I'm going crazy. I think that's one of those things that happens so often. It's so sad and so unfortunate. But I also I can understand how there can be pressure there to not speak about what you're going through to people. Well, let me step back. Let me step back. When I say pressure there, I mean pressure in that situation. I've never been to South Korea. I don't know much about South Korea, so I can't speak geographically about the there. But in terms of mentally, that place, I can see how. I don't know. I can see how somebody could just kind of feel like they don't want to tell other people that like they're losing it slowly but surely. One of the reasons, and I know this happens a lot here in the States. Again, I can't speak of other countries. I have never traveled abroad. At least I haven't yet. But one of the things that I think concerns people is that oftentimes here, when a person has some issues going on, something they're going through, they're struggling, like they'll go speak with someone who they feel like they can trust, and then all of a sudden that person's talking about them behind their back, blasting them on social media. You know, I can't believe so. You know, and it's like, man, like, and it's just sad. And you know, we collectively, all of us sometimes wonder why like people are going through things and they don't reach out for help. Well, oftentimes like we collectively get to the point where we rather criticize people or judge people or point fingers or, you know, even sometimes just try to feel like we can fix everything, or sometimes like listening means the world to somebody, right? Because if you stop and sit down and attentively listen to somebody, that means that they are of some degree of importance to you. You know, just as much as I feel like everybody who takes the time to watch these videos and comment and things like that, you know, it means a lot to me because it lets me know that I have some degree of importance in your life. Not saying I'm some high-ranking person. It just means that like I am somebody, you know, and it's nice to feel that. It's nice to know that. But yeah, I can see how somebody could feel like, you know what, I'm just gonna bundle it up, tell everybody everything is fine and smile in front of, you know, everybody else, but deep down inside know that they're really fighting and struggling. So, and it's just sad.
이겨낼 수 있다고라고 하는데 미치겠습니다. 돌아버릴 것 같아요.
솔직히 말해서 저는 사실일까? 허상은 아닐까? 우리가 허상을 만들어 놓고 그냥 거기에 달라드는 거 아닐까? Everybody say no!
더 있습니다, 여러분. 자, 무엇일까요?
제 생일입니다.
생일 축하합니다. 사랑하는 내 모녀. 생일 축하합니다.
무릎 끄세요. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 저희 소원에 신상을 꼭 탔으면 좋겠습니다. 신상 꼭 탔으면 좋겠고요. 홍 좀 해주세요.
He said, please act excited.
저희 소원에 신상을 꼭 탔으면 좋겠습니다. 신상 꼭 탔으면 좋겠고요. 홍 좀 해주세요.
컴백. 내가 컴백으로 전화. 이제 이제 컴백을 했는데 뭔가 요번 앨범에서 정말 더 한번 빵 터뜨려서
그렇죠.
이제 본격적으로 방탄소년단을 알릴 수 있었으면 참 좋겠다.
그렇다. 긴장을 너무 많이 해서 조금 실수를 했었다.
조금 아니다. 비가 많이 틀렸다.
아니다.
이제 막 좀 이렇게 혼났었는데 이게 그래 좀 두려웠지.
그래도 사원 녹화 때는 정말 팬분들
우리 엄청난 아미분들
정말 대단한 것 같다.
엄청난 아미분들이 많은 응원을 해주셔서 정말
일단 음원도 안 나왔는데
음원도 공개가 안 됐는데
사원 녹화를 할 때 갑자기
Everybody say no 하는데 다 노를 외치니까 신기했어. 열심히 합시다.
Hey, listen, I can imagine being on stage and like maybe not even expecting that much feedback from Army, but then, you know, when they started singing and like you said, they were nervous at first, but can you just like put yourself in those shoes for a moment? You're sitting there, you're on stage, you're nervous, you're performing, you're going through your routine, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you get to that part, you hear a massive roaring no from the crowd, and you're like, you know what, we got this. It's just that little extra boost of confidence and knowing that, hey, we're heading in the right direction. People actually they're listening, they actually enjoy our music. That's a game changer. That's kind of like in basketball, like they talk about the 6 man, how important the crowd is getting into the game and stuff like that. Like that's huge. That's what's up, Army.
그렇습니다.
열심히 하겠다. 그래. 제이홉
B의
로그
끝.
자 여러분 9월 20일이 무슨 날인지 아시나요?
추석입니다.
As a person who's a huge car fan, I just happened to notice in that last screenshot, all I noticed was a whole bunch of Hyundais and Kias. That was the other vehicle I seen off to the side. I'm always looking at year, make, and model of vehicles. That's like literally always. All right, back on task.
네, 추석입니다.
I was just going to ask, like, what is that? Chuseok literally translate Autumn Eve. It's a 3-day harvest festival held on the autumn equinox in Korea. Got it. Chuseok. Man, I slowly but surely, like, my vocabulary is expanding a little bit. I'm learning a little bit more. Just a matter of time before, like, some of these words will be fluid and roll off my tongue.
추석이죠. 추석 연휴기도 하고요.
연휴예요?
네, 9월 20일.
제 생일 후 정확히 8일이 지났죠. 100일?
에이, 설마 정말 어색한 리액션 정말 감사하고요. 죄송합니다. 저희 방탄소년단이 데뷔한 지 100일이 된 날입니다. 제가
Given the number of idol groups which they do every year, the amount that pass even 100 days is very low.
저희가 이제 데뷔한 지 정확하게 100일이
I wish I would have zoomed in on the cake.
그 100일 동안 항상 옆에서 함께 해주신 아미 분들이 있어서 저희가 존재하는 게 아닌가.
그렇죠.
너무너무 감사드리고요. 앞으로 100일, 1000일, 만일, 10만일 동안 10만일 함께해요.
하지만 that's dope. And so something else is in granted not taking anything away from their abilities as a group, but like even if the judges there were kind of on the fence between like let's say BTS and I don't know whoever make up any name you put in there or any group, but like being at a performance and having Army that engaged, like the if it's done by judges, I'm just assuming at this point, but like they have to hear the voice of the people. Like when BTS came out and everybody got to roaring and going crazy and screaming and yelling, it like that has to have a strong influence on whoever's determining like which groups make it to the next level.
방탄소년단이 진격한다면 어떨까?
That bar was kind of hold. My feet sound the alarm. I think I'm about to hit it again. Hold on. My feet sound the alarm announcing my interest to the K-pop world with its foot elevated. Man, I'm only laughing. Listen, that dance with the... I had a... I've got a younger cousin, second cousin, but a younger cousin who... Once he learned how to do that dance, literally that's all he did. Didn't matter. We could be in the middle of prayer. You would look over here. This makes me think back to some of those moments. I'll show you the dance again in case you didn't catch it. Right there. Did he just do the granny bowl? I guess whatever works, but like, so backstory, I come from like a pretty serious bowling family. I want to say almost everybody in my family, with the exception of me, are like really good at bowling. Me, I got into running and wrestling and boxing and a whole lot of other stuff, but like in terms of bowling, like there's been so many 300s in my family. I've got a younger cousin, JP, I think when he was 16, maybe 17, he bowled like a 290, bowled a 299 in league bowl. And then the following week came back, bowled his 300. Ice in his veins, super cool, super laid back. And like 2 weeks after they bowled like a 298, like we've got my second to youngest brother, he's bowled a I think maybe 297 was his high. My dad's got some 300s, and yeah, bowling's pretty big in our family.
춤이 안 되는데? 춤이 안 돼. 솔직히 르몬 형보다 춤 못 춘 거 아니야?
Whoa, this song must be like directly written for Army. It's gotta be.
최근에 정말 그 생각을 많이 하는데.
If the song, whatever they were just singing, I'm trying to think now. And again, this is going off my assumption based off the lyrics you just said, it looked like it was directly written for Army. But now I'm thinking, like, have I ever seen another artist or group write a song that was like directly like, hey, this is for each and every one of you? I'm not going to say, I got to think about it. I'll think about it throughout this video. If I think of a group or an artist, I'll mention it, but I can't come up with anyone right now, with the exception of BTS, but I can't come up with anyone else right now.
사람이 왜 사고가 다칠까요?
하고 싶은 게 뭐예요?
네?
하고 싶은 게 뭐예요?
All right. I gotta mentally adjust. I feel like it's about to go into the part with a lot of criticism and things like that. And is it Bang PD? Let me know if I got that right. I'm really trying. But just pose the question, or just
생각을 많이 하는데.
quote the question maybe right here.
사람이 왜 사고가
Why are people so close-minded? I got a feeling this is about to get heavy. Let me make sure my throat isn't dry. Let's get it.
다칠까요?
하고 싶은 게 뭐예요?
네?
하고 싶은 게 뭐예요?
저는 언더그라운드와 메이저의 가교가 되고 싶다고 이야기를 했어요. 그 이유가 저도 대구에서 음악을 할 때 굉장히 힘들었었고 매일 저녁 굶고 장기 하나 살려고 다 그래요. 아니 그걸 바꾸고 싶었어요. 그걸 바꾸고 싶었다. 뭘로? 제가 가교가 되어서
본인이 아이돌 돼가지고 그걸 바꿀 수 있다고 생각했어요?
The way we refer to stars singing on the stage or dancing on the stage in Korean is that we don't call them stars or artists. The common way we call them are idols. And we actually expect them to be this perfect idol that's always smiling, always very perfect, and don't have any mistakes in their personalities, or they always look pretty even without any makeup on. We expect someone to be like flawless.
우리나라 아이돌도 너무 잘하는데 노래를 못한다. 노래 잘하고요. 춤 세계에서 제일 잘 춘다고요. 근데 심지어 노래 잘하고 춤 잘 추는데 얼굴까지 예쁘고 몸매도 좋은데 연기도 되는 친구가 한 팀에 5명이면 5명이 다 그래.
아이돌이 무슨 뜻이에요?
우상이죠. 제가 아이돌은 사전적으로 우상인데, 아이돌이라는 것은 우리나라에서는 이제 음악적인 것뿐만 아니라 산업적으로도 굉장히 복합적인 개념이잖아요. 그래서 어떤 사람들은 아이돌이라는 이 존재들이 힙합과 어떻게 어울릴 수 있냐. 힙합은 사실 또 어떻게 보면 좀 남성적이고 마초성이 좀 있는 문화이기도 하고, 방탄소년단이 무대에 올라갔을 때 이제 분장을 한다, 또 메이크업을 하는 거에 대한
I don't even know what to say right now. But what I will say is, like, this kind of goes back, and I know I talk in a lot of my videos about how I just don't follow many media outlets. I feel that for many of them, it's really about what type of, I feel like it's solely about how many views can we generate? Like, how many eyes can we get on this? How many people can we get involved in listening and things like that? We'll say whatever we have to say at the expense of anyone else or anyone we're asking questions or talking to or talking about. It's like they just don't ever seem to have a filter where they take a moment and step back and be like, well, I'm still talking to a human. It's an actual real person who has feelings, and I'm not a big mainstream media fan at all. I'm just not.
어떤 힙합과 충돌되는 부분이
분장 쪽이 아니라 여장. 입고 다니는 게 여장이 아니라.
사실 그렇게 느끼신다면 그렇게 느끼실 수도 있을 것 같고요.
Very good response, because it's one of those things that was one of those questions where it was really let me suck you into this vacuum that I'm in. Let me try to draw you into here. That way you can stoop down to my level. That's how that question came off to me to even ask that question. But you know what I mean? It was one of those. His response was just like, you know what? You're basically, he said you're entitled to your own opinion. I know I paraphrase it, but basically, you're entitled to feel that way. You're entitled to think that way. Whatever it is, it is what it is. So I like that. That was. I tell you this much. He gave much more of a mature response than I would have gave when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Listen, I'm telling you, I would have cussed him clean out. It would have been the end of the interview. Guarantee I would have cussed him clean out for saying something like that to me. Not saying that was right. It's just I know me when I was in my early 20s. So. HBA. What is that? HBA. What does that stand for? I know it's there for a reason. Somebody tell me down in the comments. Thank you much.
정신 차렸습니다. 알았어요? 편지 왔습니다. 아웃도 이런 거 얼마씩? 10만 원. 10만.
I'm laughing that he keeps ringing this virtual doorbell each time he goes to somebody, but.
편지 읽어볼까요?
최근에 편지를 많이 읽으면서 느낀 건데, 편지에 항상 고맙고 미안하다는 말을 써주시는 분들이 많이 계신데, 저도 그런 편지를 읽을 때마다 굉장히 가슴 뭉클해지고 고맙고 또 저도 미안해집니다. 감사합니다.
정말 내가 아티스트인지 아이돌인지 헷갈릴 때가 많다. 나 스스로는 아이돌의 형태를 띈 아티스트라고 생각을 많이 했었는데 사람들의 인식은 제가 그렇게 다른 거니까. 그리고 내가 앞으로
So why can't he be both? I mean, like in my mind, I feel like I don't know. In my mind, you take off whatever I guess labels that are applicable, that you're willing to take on or embody. But I don't know. I guess in my mind, I feel like you can be an artist, you can be a rapper, you can be a lyricist, you can be an idol, you can be a dancer, you can be you can be more than one thing. I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. But obviously, some people look at things differently.
보여줄 아티스트적인 면모가 더 많다고 생각을 하고, 정말 산 넘어 산이라는 말이 딱 맞는 게, 정말 데뷔하면 모든 게 다 잘 되고 뭔가 괜찮을 것 같았는데, 정말 또 더 큰 세상을 보니까 더 큰 고민을 하게 되고, 복잡하고 정말 혼란스럽지만 이런 마음들을 좀 음악에 담아낼 수 있어야 그게 내 몫이라고 생각합니다. 그걸 음악에 녹여내고 더 승화시켜서 더 진정성 있고 더 좋은 음악을 들려드리고 싶은 마음입니다.
Hey, real quick, something just came to mind. You hear this a lot, pretty frequently. I won't say a lot, but you hear it frequently in various rap songs, but basically where people say like more money, more problems. As they begin accumulating more, they just end up with bigger and more intense problems. So definitely heard that before.
아무튼 요즘 그래도 열심히 잘 하고 있으니까 랩몬스터 누나님이 힘냈으면 좋겠다. 잘하고 있다고 믿을 것이고 잘 해낼 것이다. 너무 많이 생각하지 말자.
Power of thought.
그렇지.
그러시면 안 돼요. 그대로 하셔야 돼요. 그대로 읽을 겁니다. 그대로.
All right. Bangtan wrote letters addressed to their fandom army to express their honest thought. All right. So, couple of things that give me a second. Actually, you know what? And what made me laugh when I read this is in terms of them writing letters to their fandom to express their honest thoughts and gratitude. I actually, if you've been following my channel, every once in a while I will write a letter. This is actually a letter that I wrote to someone who I don't know personally, but just I don't know, maybe a month ago or so. But it's just kind of something I just do every once in a great while, especially people who kind of follow me. You know, since my channel is still small, but since it was very, very small, and other people as well. But I like sitting down and writing letters, and it's a handwritten letter that I wrote. I don't know. It's just kind of me. Like I want to share things with people that are actually like they're meaningful to me, and hopefully they'll be meaningful to the recipient as well. But you know, seeing that just kind of made me smile, because I'm definitely. I get how heartfelt that is when you take the time to sit and write a letter to someone. So, all right.
조명도 살짝 어둡게. 네.
이거 뭐지? 인간 극장 아닌데요?
사실 정말 믿기지가 않습니다. 춤이 너무 좋아 공부도 안 하고 새벽에 매일 나가 새벽 연습하고 고생한 끝에 서울로 올라갈 때 그래도 그 누구보다 좋아하셨던 부모님, 저 아버지의 그 모습이.
여러분은 모르시겠지만 연습생 때는 정말로 데뷔를 할 수 있을지도 몰랐습니다. 정말로 울기도 하고 지치기도 하면서 포기하고 싶다는 생각을 많이 했었습니다.
사실 예전은 즐겁다고 생각한 적은 많이 없었던 것 같아요. 그리고 지금까지.
Alright.
열심히 활동하면 제게 작지만 되게 큰 목표가 하나 생겼습니다. 정말 제 목소리로 여러분들의 마음을 감동시킬 수 있는 그런 가수가 되고 싶고, 또 정말 떳떳하게 자랑스럽게 부끄럽지 않게 나는 방탄소년단의 팬이다 라고 말할 수 있도록 정말 멋진 가수가 되겠다고 다짐했습니다. 참 이렇게 고마운 존재인데 저희에게 되려 미안하다고 할 때는 저는 마음이 참 아픕니다. 우리 서로 고마워하는 사이가 되었으면 좋겠어요.
저는 여러분을 실망시키는 일이 세상에서 가장 두렵습니다. 항상 말해왔듯이 여러분이 없으면 저도 없으니까요. 아멘들. 내가 꿈을 이루면 나는 또 누군가의 꿈이 된다고 합니다. 여러분 모두의 꿈이고 싶어요. 그게 저의 역할인 것 같습니다.
아직 모르는 게 많고 서툴고 어벙대지만 점점 나아지는 모습으로 아미 여러분들이 자랑스러워하는 방탄소년단이 되고 싶습니다.
바쁜 스케줄 덕분에 몸은 지쳐도 저희를 응원해주시는 아미분들을 만날 때마다 힘이 됩니다.
아미 여러분들을 만나고 항상 웃고 긍정적인 사람으로 바뀌게 된 것 같아 고마운 마음을 전달하고 싶네요.
아미 여러분, 언제나 저희 옆에 성장하는 모습을 지켜봐 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 늘 사랑합니다, 고맙습니다라고 표현을 하려고는 하는데 그게 굉장히 어렵습니다. 사랑합니다.
제가 이런 여기 있으면서 제가 정말 어떤 사람인지 또 어떤 사람이 되어야 하는지 정말 많이 깨닫는 것 같고요. 그래서 저희한테 고마운 존재입니다. 또 진짜 더 열심히 할게요. 정말 감사합니다. 저희는 지금까지 방탄소년단이었습니다. 둘, 셋! 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
나가기 싫다.
발대기가 많이 무겁네요.
나가기 싫다.
2014년 12월 4일 진해일지. 오늘은 내 생일이다. 새로운 가족들, 우리 방탄이들과 생일을 보냈는데, 와, 이 먹보들 어떻게 연습실에 딱 들어오자마자 케이크로 생일 축하한다고 이렇게 케이크를 붙여대더니
생일 축하드려요. 감사합니다.
우리 팬분들이 많은 편지와 또 메시지들을 보내주셨는데, 정말 이렇게 많이 사랑받아도 될까 싶을 정도로 많이 축하해 주시고 또 태어나줘서 고맙다는 말을 많이 해주셨는데 그냥 감사합니다. 꼭 정말 더 많이 노력을 해서 절대로 실망시키지 않는
맏형, 방탄의 맏형 진이 될 테니까 더 지켜봐 주셨으면 좋겠다.
All right, so with listening to some of the, or with watching this video, and now I'm sure a lot of it has to do with, you know, their upbringing and the pressure that's put on individuals from South Korea. But I feel like that desire to please others is strongly embedded there. And I think that's part of what drives their work ethic, is wanting to please others, you know, wanting their fans and supporters and wanting armies to be pleased. And, you know, I think that it's really important and great that you all, you know, give them the love and the feedback to reinforce, you know, that reciprocal love that's going both directions, you know. So and I think it's like a affirmation as well, you know, being able to go on stage and hear that type of feedback, or being able to read these letters, or when they have I forget what they called them, but basically like when they have the meet and greets where they get to meet armies, and you know, I think that really does mean a lot, you know, and that's kind of what I hear them expressing, just as much as I hear many of you expressing how much BTS has positively impacted your life and giving you hope. So it's just like a perfect mesh, you know, a two-way street where both sides are giving, both sides are receiving. Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. So hey, I'm glad. Hey, listen, I'm glad you guys welcome me into this realm, if I may. You know, a realm that I didn't even know existed. What, a month and a half ago? Maybe a month and a half ago or something like that. Maybe 4 or 5, 6 weeks, something like that. So yeah, so I'm happy to be there. I'm grateful to be here. Hold on. They pulled up in a full-size van. I can't make out the type it is. So here at the red carpet, like you see a lot of people pulling up, and if it's not like a limousine or something, it's in like some type of, I don't know, $1 million Bugatti Chiron or something, you know, something where it seems like it's just kind of all about the show or whatever. That is a clean van. Don't get me wrong. That is a very clean high top, but it's probably decked out on the inside, but I don't know. It's just interesting to see them pull up to the red carpet in a van. Looking dapper.
네, 정말 뜨거운 감성으로 가득 찬 2013 멜론 뮤직 어워드를 함께하고 있습니다.
네, 정말 2013년이 저렇게 뜨거웠구나라는 것을 다시 한번 느껴볼 수 있었고요. 지금 말씀드리는 순간 벤에서 방탄소년단인가요?
네, 2013 데뷔한 아주 핫한 신인이죠. 정말 패기 넘치는 모습으로 레드카펫을 걷고 있습니다.
자, 방탄소년단은 올해 데뷔를 하면서 정말 인기보다는 실력으로 승부를 하면서 다양한 이슈를 나왔는데요. 자, 그리고 방탄소년단의 팀.
Did you see that won over the population with their skills, not popularity? Did you hear that? I'm sure you heard it because you're watching, but yeah. Anyways, I just kind of caught that a little bit late, but yeah, that's what's up. And I think that kind of ties into them not being a part of the big three, or what was the big three at this time, you know, and I'm sure that people who came through the big three, they had popularity because they were, I don't know, I guess they probably had billboards and posters and plastered and done tons of marketing and stuff like that, had a lot of money to put behind the groups they wanted to make big. And it sounds like BTS just grew because they were just amazing at what they did, you know, so.
팀워크가 얼마나 좋은지 알 수 있냐면요. 지금 7명이 쫙 섰는데 키가 다 똑같아요. 네.
당연히 못 봤죠.
야, 당연히 못 봤냐? 참가상 모르냐, 참가상?
참가상.
야, 떨려.
아, 진짜요?
우리 밖에서 멤버일 거. 우리 하기 전에
멤버. 밖에 멤버. 모르겠네요.
과연.
저 받으면 울 것 같아요.
Best new artist.
2013 멜론 뮤직 어워드 신인상 방탄소년단 축하드립니다.
방탄소년단?
Ooh, they cleaned up during their debut year.
우리 아미분들! 아미! 정말 너무너무 감사드리고요. 더 좋은 음악, 더 좋은 무대로 앞으로도 찾아뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다. 부모님 사랑한다. VJ 방탄 특공대와 함께한 저희의 이야기 어떠셨나요? 방탄소년단의 새로운 변신 앞으로도 많이 지켜봐 주시길 바라고 저희 VJ 방탄 특공대 여기서 인사드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Is that 30 minutes already?
방탄소년단 랩 가사 그것도 가사야. 증명하겠습니다.
Chapter 4, Reflection.
우린 방탄소년단 힙합하려고 모였다. 남다른 목소리로 대중들의 귀를 녹여마. We sweet like a syrup. 거짓말들은 싫어 진짜 우리 얘기들로만 가사에 꽉꽉 실어. 랩 몬스터스 가진 전국제 요피지맨. 한국 여자들은 우리 때문에 가기 싫어질 걸 이미. 그리고 여기서 랩하고 있어. 이리
Hey, real quick, you want to know what's interesting about reading the lyrics or the translation to what he's saying is that as he's rapping it, it rhymes, you know, and it makes sense, but the translations don't rhyme at the end of each bar. And it's just, I don't know, it's a different experience, you know. It's a different experience trying to make sense of both of those at the same time, and also while trying to dissect what's going on or what he's talking about. So.
몸으로 표현해주세요.
누나 좋아하지?
일단 매력 너무 넘쳐 19살 귀염둥이 보컬 때로는 먹어야 돼. 완전 못생겼어. 서강원부터 경상도 충청도부터 전라도
Chapter 2. That's going backwards. Then I pause it. Hold on. There we go. All right, so man, glad I checked it out. That actually, these 30-minute, like I thought the videos would seem longer than what they are, but you know, once you get into, and that's, listen, I watch when I used to watch a lot of horror films. I used to watch the ones that were had subtitles, because those to me were always the best horror films. But I always gauge how great a film was by if I forgot that I was reading. You know, when it comes to like films or things in other language. And I parallel that to this docuseries. It's like I get so into the words and what they're saying, like, and I'm glancing back and forth, but I literally forget that I'm actually reading the words. I almost feel like I'm hearing these words as they're speaking. So it's a really cool feeling. I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments. If you don't, it probably just seems like I'm a bit crazy, but that's okay, because I truly, I might be. Anyways, hey, I appreciate you all for being here. Hopefully you have hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot of different thoughts and things relevant to my channel. I want to ask you all's opinion on some things. It's not going to be on this video. I'll probably try to put that at the end of like a standalone video or something like that. But just some changes coming in a good way. Steve Dab 317. And for now, I am signing out. Peace.